at Bintan Resorts with Mr. Asad Shiraz, Director of Marketing, and Mr. Alfred, Executive Destination Marketing. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Charles.
I'm really excited because I've heard a lot about Bintan Resorts, and frankly, I don't know very much about it, about how it's structured. I've heard a lot about various resorts in Bintan, but maybe you can educate me a little bit, please.
Sure, it'll be my pleasure. Bintan is an island in Indonesia, but it is most accessible from Singapore. It's only 55 minutes by a fast ferry from Singapore. The island is a lush tropical resort, something that you wouldn't find in Singapore, but complements the city experience in Singapore very well. At Bintan Resorts, you have a range of activities that you can get involved in, from 3 to 5 or even 6-star hotel accommodation, spas, back to nature trails, tours, fantastic Indonesian culture, food, and there's so much to do in Bintan.
Okay, so Bintan Resorts, I think you started to explain to me. Tell me about the business model behind this, please.
Well, it is a piece of land in the island, Indonesian island of Bintan, and which has been back in the 1990s acquired by a consortium of Singaporean and Indonesian companies. And if I can help you locate that on the map up there, the portion that is at the top, which is in brown, is where Bintan Resort sits on the island of Bintan. All of that land is available for resort and recreational developments. Not much of it has been developed yet, and that's where the potential lies. But already, that all of it is about 20,000 hectares, and we have developed less than 10% of it right now. So, it is a great investment opportunity as well as a holiday destination right now.
And it is located, I see on the map, 55 minutes by ferry.
That's right.
From Singapore.
That's right.
Let's talk a little bit. Explain to me, what is the general philosophy behind Bintan Resorts in terms of developing this 20,000 hectare?
Well, we are very focused on ensuring that Bintan complements Singapore as a destination. So we'll try not to duplicate the things that are happening in Singapore and to capitalize on the many assets that we have, being a tropical island with pristine, beautiful beaches, with unobstructed views of the South China Sea, beautiful sunsets, world-class golfing facilities. So the whole idea is a back to nature, a back to enjoyment of living. The resorts are unparalleled as far as this part of Southeast Asia is concerned. And we sell it with Singapore to the world.
Do you operate the development under a master plan, meaning, okay, we're going to have so many beach resorts, so many lodges of this nature, so many of this, so many of that, and this part, that part? Is that how you do it, or it's based on indoor people coming up with you with proposals?
No, we work on an overall master plan, which was done initially in the 1990s. And the developments that have gone on so far have followed that master plan. But we're at a stage right now where we are re-looking at some of the master plan that was done. And we are now looking at on a less macro but more micro scale, and looking at specific parcels. For example, we are doing new master planning for 1,300 hectares of new developments. The master planning will be done now and be ready by about March, where we will know that in that piece of land what kind of developments will come on. We are already looking at things like retirement villages, we're looking at villas, we're looking at recreation facilities, F&B, even retail. Yeah, both big parcels as well as small parcels of anything from over half a hectare up to a few hundred hectares. So there's a lot of opportunity, and it is all according to a very set master plan that we have done.
If I'm a developer, Do you impose any development standards? And I'm really addressing the environmental, sustainable tourism, green type standards. Do those part of your master plan?
Absolutely. In fact, we consider ourselves a world class, first world destination which looks after the environment. We have very strict guidelines of what resorts can and cannot do. Everything from height limitations to setback from beaches to disposal of waste and affluents from the resorts. For example, anything that comes out of a resort goes into treatment, nothing goes out to sea. So we've got very strict and high standards of environmental protection as far as the resort goes.
And turn to you, Alfred. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about. I have heard a bit about a few properties that are there. They tend to be in the deluxe luxury level. Um, is Could you tell me about the type of properties that are there and which markets are catered to today, and which ones may be coming in the future, please?
Actually, we cluster it to about 5 properties. They vary in the different accommodation levels, all the way from villas to hotel rooms to resorts. 5 properties would be Angsana Spa in Bintan, as well as Banyan Tree Bintan, Nirvana Gardens, Bintan Lagoon Resort, and as well as Club Med Ria Bintan. The type of market that we're looking at is actually somewhere to the middle to the high market. Based on the standards of the hotel is rather high there. Like previously Asad has mentioned, 3 to 5 and even 6 stars accommodation. And even things like we have full access to golf courses, 4 golf courses there. Even the Gary Player course, which is quite a famous course over there, run by Ria Bintan, is a very popular destination for golfers.
If I have my brands right, sounds like over 50% of banyan tree.
Banyan Tree has quite a big stake. Actually, if together they have about 200 keys of rooms, about 70 villas and 120 of hotel rooms. The other properties like Nirvana Gardens have about, including hotel rooms, 250, plus their villas is about 300 over keys. Bintan Lagoon Resort is one of the biggest properties that we have in Bintan. 400 rooms in just their resort alone, as well as about 70 villas in total. So they are all pretty well equally spread. Even Club Med itself has 300 rooms. So the properties are rather large actually. Yeah.
So I think that adds up to roughly a couple of thousand rooms right now.
In total, I think we have 1,350 rooms or so, on average.
I count travel style, 2,000. Where do you see 24 months from now? How many? So 1,300 rooms now. I realize it's not quantity you're after, it's quality. But I'm sure the demand is there. Where do you see 24 months from now? How many rooms?
In fact, we have just started remarketing Bintan as an investment opportunity about 18 months ago. And already in the last 18 months, we've seen a commitment of about 1.3 billion Singapore dollars in new investments coming on. Some of which will be ready in about 18 months' time. So in 18 months' time, we will see progressively an injection of new inventory on Bintan. The area that I mentioned earlier, 1,300 hectares that's being master planned, that is not included in what I just mentioned just now, as coming on stream in the next 18 months. So the future is very bright. In terms of capacity, we will grow. In terms of visitor arrival as well, we're very, very optimistic. We expect to reach about 1 million visitors to Bintan by 2012. So everything's looking up right now, and it's matched by investor interest as well.
Does Bintan Resorts have developments other than in Bintan?
Well, the parent company does on the islands of Bulan and a few other places. But even within Bintan, there are industrial land as well, to the south of the resort. The map that I showed you earlier, that is all resort land.
The places you mentioned earlier, as far as the parent company having investments in, where are those located? I'm not familiar with the country or the location.
There are industrial parks, both in Bintan as well as in Batam. And there are farming activities that the company involves in the island of Bulan. It's all part of the Indonesian Riau Islands province and all accessible very easily from Singapore.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.